exploring in my own world. As time passed, and I continued to work on the Geniad, some of my short pieces have gone into editions that are now out of print. While I know from my own experience the joy of locating that rare copy of a favorite book, as a writer, I always want to make it easier for my readers to find what I've written. So, Moira's Pen is a compendium for pieces already published and for the others that have never been published before. It's also the solution to a painful dilemma. As I was finishing Return of the Thief, I had two stories in mind, Alita's missing earring and another. Only one of them could be at the end of the book, and deciding between them was killing me. Thanks to the magic of Moira's Pen, the other is here. As I gathered these pieces together, I was reminded of the way writing each of them inspired more world-building that, in turn, yielded inspiration for the future. If I had Moira's Pen in my hand right now, I could write a whole book explaining exactly how inspiration works, but I do not and cannot. Instead, I've encouraged someone who is both invention and inspiration to add some comments of her own. I might not be able to write with Moira's Pen, but she can. To my readers, I mean it when I say that I have been honored by your attention. I am, as ever, gratefully yours, Megan Whalen Turner. Do not offend the gods. Edis goes camping. Helen thought she found the temple on her own. She woke without the warmth of her fire, unaware that she was both ending and beginning. The pony was fat and shaggy still from the winter. Its short legs flicked across the hard-packed road, and Helen's own round, solid body bounced uncomfortably on its back. She had a bundle with her, but it was as small as she could make it, just blankets, a loaf of bread, and other bare necessities. She had her belt knife, and her own crossbow hung on the saddle with the cranking mechanism, geared for her 9-year-old arms. With luck, anyone who noticed her riding up the road away from the palace would see nothing out of the ordinary and would forget her again quickly. The spring festival was finally over, and everyone was in bed recovering. Helen doubted that anyone but Xanthi, her nurse, would even wonder where she was. By bedtime, of course, Xanthi would be alarmed, but by bedtime she would have found the drawing chalked inside the door to Helen's sleeping room. Xanthi couldn't read, or Helen would have written a note. Instead, she had drawn a picture of her pony with its bundle of blankets and food, and a picture of herself waving goodbye. It was only for one night, and Xanthi would eventually forgive her, but only if Helen made it away from the palace without drawing anyone's attention. If her mother sent for her and Helen couldn't be found, people would assume she was playing with her cousins in some obscure part of the palace, so long as no busybody remembered that she had gone out on her pony. If that happened, his stall would be checked, and when it was found empty, the hue and cry would be frightful. Her aunts would start wailing that she and the horse had gone over a cliff or been eaten by a lion, and her father would send out the entire population of the capital city in a search. At the thought, Helen urged the pony on a little faster. Finally, their path left the sacred way. It cut across the shoulder of the hill and then down to the valley road that led up into the hunting preserves. Out of sight of the palace, once among the trees, Helen relaxed. The pony slowed, and she patted his neck.
"Don't slow too much, Nesta," she told him. "We have a long way to go."
The place she was heading for was more than half a day's ride away. She'd found it the previous fall, when she'd wandered much farther than she'd intended. There had only been time for a quick look, and a promise to return after the winter was over. She'd been out before on overnight hunting expeditions, and she'd sometimes spent whole days out on her own. This wouldn't be very different, and it was the only way she could explore her secret hideaway and still keep it secret.